Steve O. What is up, my brother? We'll get started in a little bit. It's a Saturday night in session, talking about the single person's quest. Single and wanting to be coupled up. I didn't say married, coupled up, which can lead to a reinvented marriage. It was a great forum that we did regarding, can marriage be reinvented? I will turn the camera on when we get to a certain number. Steve-O says, I had some steamed carrots, a pork roast, and tomato and cucumber salad. It was delicious. Oh, that's great. 3-Day, what's going on, brother? Bill Boyer, what is going on? How you doing, man? It's good to see you. It's going to be an interesting conversation, I think. Golgo, what's up? I think it's going to be an interesting conversation. There's always a possibility that it's not going to be a good conversation, but that never stopped me from trying to have a good conversation. That never stopped me. We're going to wait till a lot of the crew gets here, and then we'll get started on our quest. The single person's quest. What is the single person's quest? Other than self-improvement, becoming the best version of yourself. Give me a thumbs up if the audio is good. I want to make sure we got some good audio here. Brandon Staples, good to see you, OG. Sweet Tea Karen, good to see you. It's going to be a very interesting topic. Well, I think it's interesting. You might not think it's interesting. So we'll find out. We're going to find out. May or may not have a guest on. Chief of Sinners, what's going on? Good to see you. Glad you are here. And we're going to be talking about a single person's quest. Single and wanting to have a mate, a helpmate. Man, and it's hard too. You can meet somebody across the country that you feel is great for you. But you are... Chi-Town, what's up, brother? Glad to see you back around, man. You are an OG from way back. Way back. You might meet someone across the country and you're separated by 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 miles. Epic Dude says women are untrustworthy. Many are, yes. Hertz Journey, what's going on? Yes. She said yes. That's funny. Now that's funny. This is how these chicks ride. Epic Dude says, yeah, I get you. I totally get you, man. Eric Lane, what's going on? We're going to be talking about the single person's quest when we get to the magic number. And I have just a few things in kind of like outline form. We'll read them and then we can talk about those things. Deciduous Discipline, how are you, sir? Good to see you. Happy Labor Day weekend. It's been a good day. I think I sold the motorcycle. I think, and it's to a guy in Texas. And I think he's going to send me the money tonight or tomorrow and then have it transported from Philly to Texas. So we'll see how that goes. Steve-O says, what I love about being single is I can make up my own rules and do whatever I want to do. Yeah, you know, when I was in a relationship, I pretty much made up my own rules and did what I wanted to do, but I was considerate of the other person. I was considerate. Like making up your own rules and doing what you want to do. Doing what you want to do doesn't necessarily mean you're doing something offensive. If I have events that I want to go to, and, you know, let me put it this way. If I'm going somewhere and people say, you know, bring somebody, you're welcome to bring somebody. It's nice to have a reliable woman. You can tell her what the event is like. I'm selling the bike. I'm getting another one. This is the third Honda Helix that I've had. And I don't know if I'm helixed out. One of the reasons is I can't stand up on the pegs. I like dampening bumps by standing up on the pegs. You can't really do that on a Helix. Sitting on a Helix is like sitting on a lawn chair. It's a beautiful bike. It's beautiful. It truly is a beautiful bike. You can ride it all day long. 65 miles an hour, comfortable, tall windshield, nice trunk. I could put some food and water, drinks in it, a thermos filled with coffee. Z, what's going on? Z, what is your first name, bro? Just so I can say your first name. Don't say your last name. Just give us your first name. Yes, the builders are in the house. This is the world's largest gathering of builders on YouTube. Build what? People that want to build something that outlives you. No one's going to want your shit. Your kids will pick through your stuff, take a few things. Mitchell, nice to meet you, sir. Thank you. Where is everybody from? Give me your state where you're from. Victoria, Missouri, Search for Truth. What's going on? Eric Weissman in Utah. Deciduous in Arizona. SWB, Scott. What's going on, brother? Donna's doing it. Probably broadcasting or probably listening from Arizona. Epic Dude, New York City. Okay, awesome. Montana, Oklahoma, Grand Rapids, Vegas, baby. San Antonio, New Zealand. Jerry Greitens from Arkansas. Well, son of a gun. Illinois. Sweet Tea Karen, North Carolina. Still waiting for my man. We're gonna try to get you a good man. Wasn't there a Todd Rundgren song called "We Gotta Get You a Woman"? Someone has to write a song called "We Gotta Get You a Man." Texas in the house. The commie country of Colorado. Joanne is from Texas. Nice, representing the states tonight. That's good. That is good. When we get a fair amount of people in here, we're gonna start the show. It's good to see everybody kind of chit-chatting. That's one of the things that I like about my chats. Bishner, good evening, sir. I like how people interact in the chats. William Beck, how are you, sir? Good to see you. You know, it's interesting. There's not a lot of people who do a broadcast and the chats really get to know each other. The people in the chats get to know each other. And I really, really love that. I love that about my audience. How they interact with each other. Idaho in the house, Oklahoma in the house. Chat group is civil and interesting. Yeah, you're right, man. You're right. You know, when 2 or 3 people say they're from a certain state, everyone's like, so where in Arkansas are you from? Where in Illinois? Where in Texas? Iron does sharpen iron. This is the Iron Fellowship, man. Oh. Donna says, I'm back in California. Had an incident last night. Oh, okay. Central Florida. Wasn't safe. All right. You'll have to tell me about that sometime. You'll have to tell me about that. One of the things that I like about our chat, and Donna's channel does the same thing. Tommy Stig's channel does the same thing, where the people kind of get to know one another in the chat. So it's not just a monologue. It's not just things happening on screen. There's relationships and bonds being formed in the chat. And I like to say that my followers, the men followers, are gentlemen, solid, masculine men. The ladies that come here are feminine. They don't take any bullshit. They're not wilting flowers. Matt Weber in Boise, Idaho. So I really think that we have I think that we really have a good group of people. I really do. Camarado. Colorado, Camarado. Yeah, I think that's funny when people make up names for their state. I am from New York State. I love the state itself. I love the terrain. I love the towns. I just can't see myself ever moving back to New York. And I'm from a beautiful part of New York. Beautiful. very cool that people are kind of chit-chatting with one another. I love that. I love that about you guys. Love it. Topic tonight is a single person's quest. The single person's quest. Tonight is Haunted Bookshop. It's going to be a good conversation, as far as I'm concerned. We are at the number. We are at the number, just about. Big Six, what's going on? What's happening? Smoking some Barbados plantation and some sherbhead cannabis. Yeah, Barbados is nice. That's a good blend. How long has everybody been single? How long has everybody been single? I'm not going to do the last 8 commandments of Poon. I'm actually going to do a recorded video of that. And to be able to teach, I'm probably going to be teaching that from the cozy nook, from my kitchen. William Beck never married, 3 years single, 45 years, 6 years. Captain Clockwork, entire life, 59. Puffing on a 6.73 unfinished with Captain Black Royal. Nice. Very nice. Donna, 14 years. We're going to talk about the single person's quest, which I think is an interesting topic. 3 Day says 12 years. Jerry from Arkansas says 12 years. Or no, since 2015. Bearded Dan, been single for 2 years, has its ups and downs, but I'm happy, always open to a new relationship as long as it feels right. Some nutters out there, yeah. Eric says 10. David Loost says very content being single. It's good to see everybody tonight. This is a conversation. Joe N, 7 years. This is from a conversation with, I joke around, I call her my future ex-wife. James Trowbridge, 6 years single. The conversation is for single people who might want to meet somebody. Who might want to meet, like, what do you do? What do you do? Kip Gibbons says 7 years. Ian Simmons is here. Chief of Sinners says married 10 years, single dad 5 years. Z. Mitchell says what I find sad is how much men and women can't stand each other in today's society. You never had this lack of respect for one another decades ago. Something changed. Yeah. I think society doesn't want us to have children. It's all part of the depopulation agenda. I truly believe that. When men and women hate each other, babies aren't getting born. We are at 0 population growth real soon, which means there's more people dying in America than being born. Let me turn down the music and we will get this going. And I will crank up a little different music there. Going on a speed dating event, that's cool. That's very cool. Cole Greenleaf, how are you, sir? Thank you for helping us try to figure out how to fix or change marriage for the better. Everyone seems to complain but doesn't have any actual solutions. Government penalizes marriages. It's so true. Jay Novaks, how are you, sir? Good to see you. Good little chat that we had there. It's good to see you. Let me take the wizard off the screen and open up the camera. And open up the camera. Hold on here. And there he is. Ender Corbin, good to see you. Chakma, what's up? Brian Gaffney, Sean Thompson. Would I ever go back on a dating site? Yes. George Elder, good to see you. George Elder, I got to introduce you to my brother Tony, who probably lives 15 minutes from you. You guys should get together for a drink, a cup of coffee. Get together for a workout. Shoot the shit. He's got some good buddies down there. I don't know what your social life is like, but my brother has a lot of good bros. Masculine dudes. John Moxley, good to see you. You saw my, I did 2 workout videos. Hello from France. I did 2 workout videos this morning when I did some trail running. And I showed you what I do when I'm not lifting weights. If I'm not lifting weights or doing resistance bands, I'm doing body weight exercises. I love being in the sun. Scott says, Tony wants me to visit him. I would, but he knows I'm scared of snakes. That's funny. Tony's a good host. He's got a 3-bedroom house. Good guy. It's kind of like bro central. A lot of guys. He's got a lot of good friends. That's cool. Do we have any veterans in the chat? I don't know. I don't know if we do. So you got a, if you saw the workout video that I did, the trail running video, you got a glimpse of my physique at my age. And believe me, it did not come easy. If you do nothing, you can end up looking like hell. I remember eating half a pizza and a 6-pack of beer and then going to sleep an hour or 2 later and not putting on a pound. We do have some veterans here. Great. Thanks, guys, for identifying yourself. That's cool. That's cool. Veterans definitely have a bond. Yep. Veterans definitely have a bond. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Well, let me read. Let me turn down the music just a little bit. I think it's too loud. Tonight is In Session, which is kind of a play on words from when I used to be a therapist. And when I had people in the office, it was in session. I'd have a little sign on the door. I'd flip around. You know how, like the shop owner puts like open or closed on their shop door. I would put a sign that would say in session. That way I wasn't getting bothered. But let's start the conversation right now. The quest of most divorced or broken up men and women is to avoid the mistakes of the past. And everybody has made mistakes. Everybody has made mistakes. Every single one. Now, there's some people that keep making the same mistakes over and over and over. The one thing that all of your breakups, or if you were married multiple times, the one thing they have in common is you. And the last thing that we want to do, 9 times out of 10, is look in a mirror, because we literally are saying that we fall short. And that sucks, doesn't it? It stinks. And it's humbling to be able to admit that you've made mistakes in relationships, because the one thing that all your relationships have in common is you. The one thing all my relationships have in common is me. The quest of most divorced or broken up men and women is to avoid the mistakes of the past. And that's pretty noble. That's pretty noble. Aaron Valentine. You got to behave yourself. You want to be here. You got to behave yourself. Room for improvement is always welcome. I'm fine with falling. We are all human. That is true. Thank you. Now, when you say you want to avoid the mistakes of the past, you got to think about this. When you say you want to avoid the mistakes of the past, that's a very noble, it's an honorable attempt. But it can also be a trap. And I'll tell you why. The danger is summed up in the phrase, snooze, you lose. You've heard the phrase, snooze, you lose. Waiting for conditions to be perfect, or meeting the perfect person or the perfect person for you, before stepping into love again might mean forfeiting a truly great partner that God wants to bring into your life. Hi, Thea. Unfortunately, when people show up in our lives, they don't have a sign hanging around their neck. They don't have a label. They don't have a label saying this is the one. That's something that you have to discern. The other trap is turning it into a checklist. You know, you get very checklisty. You know, dating profiles. John Boston, what's going on? You read dating profiles and they read like a resume. A woman just wants to tell you about her master's degree, the mud runs that she's on, the yoga retreats. Most women's dating profiles sound like a 40-year-old executive man's resume, which shows me kind of like a tone deafness. There are, no checklist, but there are some non-negotiables. That is true. That is true. You definitely have to have your, what do they call it? Like deal breakers? Would that be the word? Deal breakers? For instance, if you are a cigarette smoker, you know, there are a lot of people that don't like people that smoke cigarettes. I know guys that smoke cigars and pipes, but don't consider themselves like smokers. I'm talking about the people that are just like smoking all the time and smell like smoke and all that. Karen Sweet Tea says you definitely have to have your teeth. Yes. Yep. You got to have boundaries, have standards, and stick to them. So rather than turning your life into, or your dating life into just like a long checklist, because nobody is going to check everything. For instance, if you find somebody that meets all of your criteria, think about this. You find somebody or encounter somebody that meets all your criteria, but there's no genuine desire there. There's no primal urge to want to jump their bones. Desire cannot be negotiated. You can't talk yourself into desiring somebody. You might agree with that person, have so many things in common, but do you want to get with them? Your relationship could look good on paper. You meet each other's checklists. But think about this. Don't you want to be with somebody who wants to jump your bones? And I say that respectfully. You want someone who desires you, has a primal urge for you, and vice versa. And I think that's a very healthy thing. They could have the perfect resume, but if you don't have the urge to want to hold them, hold their hand, kiss them, hug them, spend time being intimate with them, what good is it? Then it's nothing but a job interview, right? It's a job interview. So we analyze, we evaluate, and we check for compatibility. But if it gets technical, think about this. If it gets technical and checklisty and resume-like, we end up overlooking the raw, genuine, burning desire, which is how a relationship starts. I do believe that, like, God made sex to feel good. It's an incentive to, number one, procreate. The highest and best use of your private parts is to make babies. My opinion. God didn't have to make sex feel good. He could have just said, insert A into B, and 9 months later, a baby will be born. Now, there are people who are inserting A into B, C, and D. Okay. Whatever. Yeah, we like making babies. It's awesome. It's fun. The process is fun. But if we don't have that desire to sexually be with somebody, not just warm fuzzies, but like a primal urge, then it's not going to go anywhere. Those of you that have been married, you know you had a lot of sex before you're married. Most people did. Most people did. Ian says A, B, C, D, E, and F. Yeah, that's right. Reminds me of Cricket's woman. She's the HR director. And she says to the guy interviewing for a job, I have 3 openings. He says, yes, I know. To me, that's really, really funny. First time I saw that, I was cracking up. You end up being intimate during dating, first year marriage. You know, it's been said, if you take a Skittle or a jelly bean and put it in a jar every time that you have sex during the first year of your marriage, you'll fill that jar up so fast. Year number 2, every time you have sex, take a jelly bean or a Skittle out of that jar. You will probably not empty that jar out. I do believe that when we spend time with each other intimately, I do believe when a man and woman are together sexually, a bond is created. Thank you for the super chat. I will get to that. How do you move genuinely and balance finding what you're desiring with women while being wise but not cynical, rigid after getting burned? Excellent question. We're going to talk about that. Think about this now. One of the ways that we get rejected is when a woman doesn't want to be with us. Okay. One of the ways a woman gets rejected is when her man doesn't want to be with her. And many times it's a bonding exercise. I know a guy, Tim Keller, wrote my favorite book on marriage called The Meaning of Marriage. Actually, the book, The Meaning of Marriage, I read that in 2019, and that was the book that helped influence me to the point where I thought, you know what, I do want to be married again. I was single for a long time after getting divorced. I don't consider myself divorced. I consider myself to be single. I'm not wearing that D around my neck. I'm not wearing the scarlet D. I don't identify as a divorced man. After a couple years, you can tell people you're divorced. After a couple years, you're a single man. You're not a divorced man. So Tim Keller, when he would counsel couples, he would give them homework. This is controversial. If a couple was having problems in their marriage, he said, I want you to sleep together nude every night, no pajamas, no shorts, no t-shirts, no frumpy shit. And I want you to have sex every day, whether you want to or not. And he found that advice like that, literally 2 weeks later, people came back and they were more in love. And literally more than half the people stayed married. Because what's one of the first things to go when you're having relationship problems? The sex. Someone watches TV late, they fall asleep on the couch, the spouse goes in the bedroom. If you don't go to bed at the same time every night, one person's sound asleep while you're coming in there, and let's say she goes to bed early and you're horned up and you crawl into bed, and you're trying to poke at her, you're trying to insert A into C. She's going to push you away. Now check this out. Does sex bring us closer? Yes, it does. I'll give you an example of the power of intimacy. Did you ever go through a break? Did you ever date somebody and you were never intimate with them? Like you did a lot of friendly kind of stuff with them, but you never really got intimate with them. You never spent the night with them or they with you. You never had intercourse. And then they might break up with you or something, or you go through a breakup. And you're like, oh, well, I had hopes for that relationship, but on to the next one. And then compared to a relationship with someone where you had just, I guess Rollo talks about that. He uses the phrase hot monkey sex. I don't know what the hell maybe I knew what that was when I was younger. But you have sex with them and it brings you closer. And then you break up. It hurts. The breakup hurts more. And you miss that person more if you had sex with them already. Why? Because a bond took place. A bond took place. So relationships that break up where you've had a robust sex life, they hurt. They hurt. You feel empty inside. And then if you hear that they're in another relationship real quick, it makes it hurt even more. And that really sucks. Knowing that your ex within 2 weeks is already fucking someone else. Now that sucks. That's how powerful sex is. That's how powerful it is. A relationship without a spark, a relationship without the genuine desire is nothing but a contract or a job. You interviewed for the job, you got the job. That's it. It's a contract. It's not a covenant. This is why we are repulsed by our woman if she is with another man, talking to another man, texting another man. If she fucks another guy. I've said this for years. At your wife's work or your girlfriend's work, there are men that want to bang her and are constantly working on it. Constantly. The slow burn. The long con. They're playing the long game. So as we age, that burning desire often quiets down into something softer. Something softer. And you might not be breaking the bed or going through a pint of lube every month, but you're holding each other. You're watching TV together. You're kind with one another. You give her a good squeeze. If she's making you dinner, you come up behind her and put your arms around her. You kiss her. Maybe you're working. You're at your computer. You're in your workshop. And she comes in and just kisses you. And you go, what's that for? And she goes, no reason. Now that's pretty cool, right? That's pretty cool. As we age, the burning desire often quiets down into something softer. It just becomes desire. The burning desire becomes just desire. It's safer. It's more controlled. But then again, there's a danger in becoming too cautious and too clinical. Love is not supposed to feel like the merger of two corporations. It's supposed to feel alive. Love is a covenant, not a contract. Let me say that again. Love is a covenant, not a contract. Do people even say marriage vows anymore? You know, for richer, for poorer, sickness and in hell, you know, all the traditional stuff. I don't even know what the marriage vows are anymore. Till death do us part. Nowadays, it's, well, till I don't like you, do we part. Till my coworker or just a friend or a guy that I work with comes into my life. Till that business trip. When you bond with there's no quicker way to lose a bond with somebody than to sleep with someone else. You're going through a breakup. Like, I've heard guys say this. And I'm not saying I agree or disagree with it. I'm just stating a fact. Guys say the best way to get over a woman is to get under another. I thought that was kind of a funny play on words. So, the real question for anyone post-divorce or post-breakup is this. How do we balance the contract, the covenant, with the fire? The genuine burning desire. How do we balance that out? How do you use the lessons of the past without killing the very thing that makes love worth it? And I truly think that that is a conversation worth having. You have to have that conversation. Getting into a relationship is not a job interview. Going back over some of the things that I said earlier, you can get, like, some people are very checklisty, very technical about what they want, what they don't want. You heard me say, you could be a guy that's like, that I would never, tattoos on women are, a bad thing. Now, hear me out. But you meet a woman, you're getting closer to her, she's reciprocating, and then you find out she has a tattoo. You gonna dump her? Right? Right? Sure, there's deal breakers, but there's also deal makers. The deal breakers are very technical things. The deal makers are how the person makes you feel when you're with them. I've said this to everybody for years. You've heard me say it. People don't remember what you say. They remember how you made them feel. People don't remember what you say. They remember how you made them feel. And at the end of every relationship, one person is always feeling like shit. The other person feels that they're going to spread their wings and fly. And one person feels like their world is caving in and is ending. And if you go through several relationships that end with that kind of disappointment, you can become extremely cynical. And then you kind of tighten things up and you say, never again, never, I'm done. And then your list of deal breakers, your checklist gets stronger and stronger. And then what happens is everything that you have on that checklist is another brick in the wall. And then next thing you know, there's a wall between you and a potential helpmate. There's a wall. So when you get too technical, there is what I call the snooze you lose factor. Could God be bringing people into your life, but you are rejecting them because of your past pain? You ever hear people say, like in the men's community, we talk about, you got to do the work. You got to do it. Okay. Guys think like, I'm going to inject testosterone twice a week. Okay, cool. The only thing you're going to get out of that, if you inject, is just a high level of testosterone. It won't manifest itself in your body. It'll manifest itself in your blood work, but you won't feel any different. So if you're injecting, you got to do the work. Do not take testosterone or TRT if you are not lifting weights, if you're not doing push-ups, if you're not doing the chin-ups. You have to do the work. When you meet somebody and you're having conversations with them, sometimes the pain of your past gets in the way and keeps you from taking a step forward. This is why you have to do the healing work. You have to do the healing work. If you don't, you can forever stay cynical, which is not a normal state of being. Believe me, being cynical, I guarantee you that every single cynical man and woman has high levels of cortisol. There's the people say, I'm at peace being single. I love being single. And then you mention marriage, and then they fucking fly off the handle. Oh yeah, you're at peace. Yeah, you sound like you're at peace. Boy, you sound so peaceful now. All it did was take one single fucking word, the word marriage, to make you lose your shit. You're not at peace. Your cortisol level is through the fucking roof. So if you do the work, which means you have to learn to trust again, and that fucking sucks. If you've been cheated on, oh, that fucking sucks. If you've been betrayed, that fucking sucks. If you've been with a slacker, someone who doesn't want to work and just wants to take and not do any making, they want to do nothing but taking, you are hesitant to move forward. And you always will be. So when we say do the healing work, do the work. You got to heal. I think conversations like what we are having right now, conversations like this are part of, I don't want to sound too psychobabble bullshit. Believe me, I spent too many years in that stuff. And I'm not an idealist. I'm a realist. But if you don't talk about it with somebody, it stays bottled up. That sounds like psychobabble, but it's true. You know what I just noticed is my white beard is the same color as my white t-shirt. And you can't really tell where my beard ends. It's like there's a face and then white. Looks kind of funny. It's like that one time I wore like a black turtleneck and I didn't have the lights on the back and looked like my head was just floating on the screen. That was pretty funny. Doing the healing work. Doing the healing work. To get to the point where you can offer a whole person, you, me, you don't want to offer a broken person. You literally want to be a whole person if you enter into a relationship. If you choose to stay hurt and broken, that's on you, man. That's on you. I guarantee you your cortisol levels are high. I guarantee it. And the stress is there. That's our topic for tonight. That's our topic for tonight. How do you move forward if you haven't healed? How do you move forward if you have too much of a checklist? What if we threw away our checklists? What if we just threw it away? Like, yes, there are non-negotiables. Yes, there are deal breakers. You know, we all know that. And some of those are unspoken. But what if we threw away our list? Can love come from, for the gentleman, can love come from a woman who you wouldn't normally be attracted to? That's a possibility. Same thing with the women. A man that you wouldn't normally be attracted to. Love does cover a multitude of shortcomings, I will say that. You might find yourself in a situation with somebody who isn't, like for men, isn't the prettiest. You know, we love youthful beauty. Men love youthful beauty. What if you find somebody who doesn't have the youthful beauty? What if they look a little bit older? What if they're not classically beautiful? And this happened to me. This happened to me, where I started dating a woman who was not like the type of woman that I normally dated. I was always dating models and just women that would wow you. And I said to myself, what have I gotten from that? Where did that get me? It's like working out. Remember what I said? It's like working out only to hear men say, hey, sun's out, guns out. It's like a joke, right? It's a joke. Men love it when other men notice how fit they are. Men love that shit. First. Secondly, we like it if a woman likes our physique because we're attracted to the physical before we're attracted to anything else. That's the first thing that a woman is attracted to. That's the first thing that you are attracted to in a woman is how she looks. Facial, body, figure. But what if you meet somebody and they're not the prettiest woman in the world? And you get along and they're kind. One of the things that you will, and I will tell you right now, the gal that I was dating, many of you know her, that the European gal that I was dating, she did not consider herself pretty at all. And as I got to know her, it grew on me. I thought she was beautiful. It grew on me. And all of a sudden, like being a beauty queen did not matter at all to me. And she became more beautiful in my eyes as time went on. And then I've dated women that were drop dead fucking gorgeous, who in time became less attractive to me as their personalities were kind of making them drop down a few notches. The mid-level beauty gets more beautiful with your love and care. And you end up treating her like she's the most precious thing in the world. The most beautiful woman in the world? Yes. Yes, John Boston, Margot. Yes. Yes. I've dated some gorgeous friggin' women who, as time went on, they became less gorgeous in my eyes because I judged them based upon their looks, not upon their personality. Yeah, Donna, you said it. We talk about that a lot on this channel, the whole pretty girl privilege. You know, Thea, you know the Eagles song talks about city girls. City girls just seem to find out early. All right, the song Lion Eyes by the Eagles. City girls just seem to find out early how to open doors with just a smile. That's what pretty girls get. They can open up doors with a smile, with their beauty, with their cleavage, with their figures, with their eyelashes, with their makeup. Same thing with men. There are some drop-dead handsome men that are just complete assholes. And a woman goes, like, and I know in the men's community, they always like to say, women love assholes. I will disagree with that. And then someone will say to me, well, what do you think? You got to be a nice guy? No. I don't think the answer is being an asshole. And I don't think the answer is being a nice guy. The answer is being a considerate man. A considerate man, where you're considerate with all human beings, primarily, shitty girls just seem to find out early. That is true. Considerate people are considerate with all human beings, but because charity begins in the home, you end up loving and favoring her. You give her the benefit of the doubt. And then she becomes beautiful to you. That's our topic for tonight. We'll talk about other things like that in the future. I thought that was important. A single person's quest, single and desiring to be in a relationship. The quest. The quest. That's what we all want, to be loved. We all want someone to appreciate our loving gestures as well. And men and women are not interchangeable as far as what we want. I mean, I want a considerate woman, just like a woman wants a considerate man. The issue is, well, here we go. Jay says, the key is to love oneself. You have to respect yourself. You really do. You got to respect yourself. You don't get walked on. You don't get used. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk. That's how we're going to end it tonight. I hope it was a stimulating conversation. We can shoot the breeze a little bit here. It's now about 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You guys are from all over the country. The Powerball is $1 billion. $1 billion. Can you imagine that? Some guy or chick is going to wake up tomorrow morning a billionaire. And then, of course, they're going to have to pay half of it for taxes. What is $1 billion Powerball? What is the cash value of a $1 billion Powerball? Is it like 600,000? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine winning $1 billion? Holy shit. Seriously, holy shit. I would buy the Daybreak Ranch, probably in Arkansas, on 80 acres. About 500 million, so about half of it goes to taxes. Yeah. That property that I showed you a week or two ago, 80 acres in Arkansas, it's got a cave on the property. A freaking cave. How freaking, and it's got a stream and a pond. Can you imagine having 80 acres and there's a cave in the side of one of the hills, like a real cave? Holy shit. Yeah, half of it goes to Ukraine. I will say this, fuck Ukraine. Not the people of Ukraine, but fuck the government of Ukraine. And politicians' pockets. You're right about that. Tomorrow I will be probably doing the farm park again. Yes, rest in peace, Coach Red Pill, Gonzalo Lira. Absolutely. I had so much disappointment when he died, man. I was in absolute denial. Absolute denial. Fuck Ukraine politicians. I was born there. Yeah, I can't stand the politicians. I can't stand the politicians. I love the people of Ukraine. I love the people of Russia. I am half Russian. My mother is 100% Russian. My grandparents had an arranged marriage. They came from Russia. I grew up in that culture. I know what it's like. But the politicians are just such assholes. All right, it's been an hour. Hope you learned something tonight. I'm going to get up early tomorrow and probably do the farm park again. Probably do that 2-mile. You know, some people say 2 miles, that's nothing. I will tell you, 2 miles, a 2-mile walk or a slight jog through dirt and gravel trails in and out of the woods, and you're doing push-ups and air squats, believe me, that's a workout. That is a workout. Some people say, you only do 2 miles? I'm like, yeah, with a lot of push-ups and air squats. So I get the cardio in, I get the muscle work in. Am I going to live stream from the farm park? Probably not. Probably not. Maybe I'll do a live video from a picnic table there, but I'm not going to carry the phone like I was. You see my icon in the back? Jesus Christ, right there. All right, have a good night. Hope you learned something. And I will catch up with you again soon. I don't know when. I am going to do the second half of the 16 Commandments of Poon, probably from the Cozy Nook. It won't be a live broadcast. It'll actually be a planned, organized type of video. It's good to see everybody. It is. Have a great night. And I'll talk to you soon.